We did have like a bit of an argument at the event, but it wasn't because of something that happened to the event. On the way to the event, I found out something through someone else of something that had happened earlier on in the week. And yeah, like I was shocked.
I just went on that podcast and I was like, Demi like mentioned obviously the date. And then after that, suddenly I felt like that was like my coming out episode. Even though I didn't see it like that, but it was like, I just, it's a date and now everyone's like going crazy with it being like, oh my God, like they're in an official relationship, all of that. She's my girlfriend.
We were literally like halfway up the mountain and then we get a call from the producer and he's like, come back from Table Mountain, you're going into the villa tonight. And we were like, what? So when you always expect like your entrance to be like amazing, I literally did my makeup in the car, like on the way there.
Hey guys, welcome back to another season of Amy Charlize's Private Story. This new series is going to be so good because I'm so excited to share even more about my world as I keep you guys up to date with everything that's going on in my life and spill even more tea. If you're new here, I'm a content creator with a passion for all things beauty and fashion, and I love to overshare and tell you guys a bit too much. So on this podcast, you can expect things about my relationships, friendships, and even more. And every week I'm joined by other influencers, celebrities, my own family members and friends to talk all about the latest gossip, their picnics, and their very own private stories. And I want you guys to keep getting involved just like you did last season, so please make sure to keep sending in your latest stories, questions, and dilemmas for us to work through in this judgment-free zone. So welcome back to my private story. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of season 2 with Amy Charlize's Private Story. So today I haven't just got one guest, but I've got two. I've known them for ages. So I've got Eve and Jess. Hello girls, how are you? If people don't know who you are, could you give a little introduction?
So I'm Eve.
And I'm Jess. We are 24, we're from London. We've just been on All Stars.
So you've done Love Island twice now. How was it doing it again?
I feel like this time we enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah.
It was just so much more chilled out. I feel like everyone in there, like we pretty much knew most people anyway, like the girls, like all our friends. So yeah, I feel like it was just more chilled. I felt like it was just, we're just like on holiday with our friends.
At first we were so nervous and we weren't going to do it because I wasn't really sure what like the reception was going to be like.
Yeah.
But then in the end, just because we knew like quite a lot of the girls who were doing it, we're thinking if we just go in there together, like we'll be fine.
Yeah, and to be fair, you do have each other.
Yeah.
I feel like if I had my sister, I'd love it even more.
Yeah.
And you are close.
Yeah.
You are very close twins.
So
I mean, you lived
close.
with each other before and after.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's not like you kind of like hate each other off camera. So you was on Winter, which was South Africa.
Yeah.
Was this one not South Africa?
South Africa again.
Oh, it was again.
Yeah.
I thought it was in like Mallorca. Or was that just
I
All
feel like
Stars
they
is
only
different?
do the summer one in Mallorca, but everything in the winter they need it to be hot. So they're like
South Africa.
Yeah.
And we were talking about your tan. You got a good tan
it
out
was
there.
so nice and
Oh, so
hot.
how was the process different for you? Would you say both of you? Like from the first one to the second one, was there much difference? Did the producers get more involved in this one?
You know
I feel
what?
like if anything, it was less.
Yeah. The first one I found it was quite intense, and maybe it's because we hadn't done it before, but I feel like producers were a lot more like present in kind of the villa, and it was a lot more like I felt like I was always rushing around and I was just a bit overwhelmed. This one, it was so chill. Like we literally got in there and we were like sunbathing, and before like they would kind of like prompt us and like get us going. This time I was like, is this all I have to do? Like we could
feel
actually
like
just
as
chill.
well, I feel like they knew this time, like last time I feel like everyone's a bit naive, everyone's excited to be on the show and you're really like grateful, you're like, wow, I'm on Love Island. This time I feel like everyone's a bit more like diva, like the boys and stuff, like like Josh Ritchie and stuff, like you can't tell him what to do, like a producer will go and be like, do this, and he'll just be like, no, like do you know what I mean, like, he's not gonna do it.
Yeah.
So I feel like they just couldn't tell us what to do as much because people would just be like, no,
and
like, or
people were
what.
older as well. So like I think the average age was a bit older in the villa.
Yeah.
So people were older than like the runners and things like that. So it was a bit of a weird dynamic for some people.
I find that mad. And from the two, I'm guessing your favourite was the most recent one.
Yeah.
Do you know what
definitely.
also I feel like because there's so much tea outside and inside of it, there wasn't much the producers needed to do because you all had so much drama.
Yeah.
What was that night? the movie night.
Oh, yeah, so we didn't see that, but I heard.
Oh, my God.
When we went in, everyone was like, honestly, movie night was crazy.
I think we went in like a few days, like, it was maybe like the day after it happened, and they were like, you'll never guess what happened last night.
We got pushed back because of movie night. Yeah, so we were in the Hold'em, and they said, this is the date you're going in. And then they had movie night, and then we didn't end up going in on this day. And they were like, oh, it's been very dramatic. Like, you can't go in now. Like, we couldn't really walk into that.
But you lot were thinking, what's happened? Get me in there.
And we were like, what's going on? And they basically just said, yeah, like there's been a lot of drama in the villa. And then we were watching it as well. And then we saw the movie night and we're like, okay, it makes sense. Because if we just walked in on something like that, it would be crazy.
And they wouldn't probably even care about that at that moment in time.
Imagine if bombshells on that night of the movie night, they'd just be like,
they'd be like, don't care about them. Just go back to Molly.
We're just going, oh my God, it was so mad though. And I mean, there was quite a lot of like controversy since you've been coming out. There's been so much press about it, even now. And all my friends are like, have you heard this? Have you heard that? Like, we were all invested. But I was going to ask, there's been a lot of speculation about like Georgia still, you guys leaving her out.
You know what it is? We had this meal and it kind of, the way it worked out, I got so many DMs and I even said, everyone was like, oh, like, where's Georgia? You're leaving Georgia out. And I feel like it did look maybe as though there was like a certain group and people were left out, but it was just the way it worked. Because initially, me and Eve, Sophie, Molly and Arabella were going to go for a meal at Bagatelle. And then we were with Kaz at the weekend. We also invited Kaz, and then Joanna came along, and it was just like
it just happens.
Yeah, and then but then if from the outside I can see how it would look like it was this big plan arranged, but it just kind of happened.
But then so many other people weren't there. It's like Hannah wasn't there, Georgia Harrison wasn't there, Sophie wasn't there, Demi wasn't there. Like it wasn't like every Love Island girl but Georgia. But I feel like because people already know about like how there was a clash with obviously Georgia and Molly.
They want to make
like,
that story.
oh my God, like there's a big drama. But everyone's actually cool in that villa. Like there's actually all of us girls, like we do all get along. Like there's obviously people who are closer than others, but there's no like massive like beef or anything. Everyone always
on the topic of that, who would you say you two were like most close to? I mean, obviously you're two different people. There might be someone that Jess likes more than Eve. But
I mean, I think Sophie Piper, she was like our best friend before going in.
My mum loves Sophie Piper. Like when she went on, my mum was like, yes. And my sister was rooting for her and Josh.
Oh yeah.
They are a cute.
They're in love.
They're literally in love.
It is so funny.
I think they'll actually get married and stuff. Like they're literally
so would you say that was your bestest friend?
Yeah. So Sophie was like our best friend, like just before going in, and obviously still throughout the whole way. But then everyone else like was so nice as well. Like,
I mean, you had so many times in that villa where people would like say like, oh, that's Eve when it was Jess. I look at you both and I actually know who's who really well.
I think we look so different.
I don't think you're like completely different, but there is definitely differences. How does that make you feel there? Because I feel like it does probably come across quite muggy.
But it's like when Callum gave you that copy.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. He was like, Jess, and he gave it to Eve. I was like,
he was just walking up to me. I was thinking like, is he gonna do it? Surely not. And then when he did it, I was just like, oh
my God.
But I feel like we're just so used to it. Like it's literally happened to us
but
like all our lives.
Producers said we look quite similar on camera as well, because like one day we'd both wear white and stuff, and then they would tell us, oh, one of you needs to change. We can't tell who's who on camera.
They wouldn't. They'd be like, can you both make sure you wear different colours tonight, girls? Because viewers are getting confused. We're like, no, viewers aren't. You're getting confused.
Literally, when Eve left, I was like, right, it's established now. I'm Jess.
Bye. And they still got it wrong. I swear, even when I left, like someone, I think it's Georgia. Didn't Georgia call you Eve?
She
when I left.
Eve. Oh my God, that is so.
We were playing a game. I was like, she's not
and Callum was like, it's Jess.
Yeah, even though he'd done that before. Can we get this straight? On topic of Callum, obviously you have come second. How was it?
It was good. I mean, it was so unexpected because I went on a little bit later as well. And like, I just didn't expect it coming second as well. I think because me and Callum we were a newer couple than other people in there. Obviously, Georgia and Anton had been there longer. Sophie and Josh and Georgia Steele and Toby, they'd all been together for longer. So I just didn't think that me and Callum would come second. But yeah, it was a surprise.
And I mean, obviously, since you've come out, there's been all this kind of like speculation that you've broken up. Do you want to like clear it up for everyone?
I mean, I've actually not, like the press have like ran a story and everything, but we're not speaking anymore. That is done.
Yeah.
That's
the single girl.
I'm a single girl.
Oh my God. God, yeah, cool.
But yeah, obviously, like, it's already out in the press. They kind of like, it all just kind of like, yeah, it came out.
Yeah, but they think it's done for a different reason. Yeah, it's actually done.
It's kind of like, I've literally seen some of the headlines are actually so funny. So like, obviously there was like a thing at the Boohoo event, Molly's Boohoo event, but I literally saw one headline and it was like, Jess caught sight of the way Callum looked at Molly the same way he was looking at her in the villa. Then they had a blazing row and it's over. I'm just like, what? At this point, I'm like, I'm not even going to comment on it. But yeah, so we did have like a bit of an argument at the event, but it wasn't because of something that happened to the event. On the way to the event, I don't want to go into too much detail, but yeah, I found out something through someone else of something that had happened earlier on in the week. And yeah, like, I was shocked. And then when I found that out, I didn't even want to go to the event. Like, do you remember? Yeah, because we just had a shoot. So we were coming late and we were on the train. And then Sophie actually rang me and told me. And I was like, I actually don't even want to go to the event knowing this. But like, yeah, I knew
how you
it.
meant to cover it up at an event.
Yeah,
you
I was
can't,
literally
we're
like,
still
oh,
human.
I know. I was like, this is so bad. And then, yeah, like, obviously spoke to Callum at the event and then we went from there, and then that was like,
she's single.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Now I'm single.
I mean, I do feel like everyone was kind of saying like, oh, has he still got feelings for Molly? But I was just talking to Eve, like there was literally nothing in the villa like that at all. Because I remember when was it? It was you was making breakfast with Tom and Molly and Callum. I was watching it thinking, this just feels wrong.
Yeah,
like, in the villa, you must have not even, did you see it like that or no?
So I was honestly so shocked when we started hearing stuff. So in the villa, I don't feel like that was the feeling at all. Like, I genuinely don't think there was feelings on either part.
Yeah.
But then the first time we heard of it was the family call, and Demi Sims told me, oh, there's all this speculation on the outside world that Callum and Molly should get back together. They still like each other. And then like a few other people said it on the phone call and everyone was like, what? And yeah, it was really weird. And when we addressed it in the villa as well, it was a bit weird, but I do get it. Like, obviously, like, they were together, like, everyone kind of wants that fairy tale and stuff. But when I came out and realised that there's like all these Callum and Molly fan pages and people are really like pushing for it, I was honestly so shocked.
Yeah, but you just wasn't expecting it. And on the topic, Demi Sims, you've been on a date with her.
Yeah.
So I saw this the other day that you went on a podcast. Was it Demi's podcast?
Yeah, it was Demi's podcast, and it's actually so crazy because I just went on that podcast and I was like, Demi like mentioned obviously the date, and then after that suddenly I felt like that was like my coming out episode, even though I didn't see it like that, but it was like, I just, you know, it's a date and now everyone's like gone crazy with it being like, oh my God, like they're in an official relationship, all of that, she's my girlfriend, and it's like, yeah, that's it, like obviously she's not my girlfriend or anything, like we didn't, she just like, just, you know, taking it slow, just had a little day,
taking it slow, taking day by day.
Yeah,
I was like, hang on a minute, girlfriend. It's like,
I know.
She just come up, Love Island. I was like, surely not already.
She's fresh in the villa.
Clearly the press just love you two having great headlines. They just aren't the case. They make your storylines.
I actually think sometimes it's miles off it. Like,
yeah, Casey messaged me and he was like, I'm getting so many DMs saying you turned Eve gay.
Oh my God, can you imagine? He is quite funny though, Casey.
He's so funny.
So you guys are like on good terms?
Oh my God, such good terms. Like, he's really funny, like he's a great person,
it's
but just like friends. I know.
I was like, oh my God, him and Tom are like iconic. But kind of going off of Love Island, I've seen something about like Kylie Jenner's ex. Is it texting? Was it Eve or Jess?
Oh yeah. So that was like the first time I went on ages ago. They were like, they asked you loads of questions before. They're like, okay, right, who's the most famous person that's been in your DMs? And at that time, like, I think we were like 19 when we answered the questions, or like 19, just turned 20. And I was just sat there like spilling them all the tea. I was like telling them everyone that's been in my DMs. And then it came out in a challenge. And when it came out in the challenge, I was like, wow.
We literally, but 2 nights before we were in the club, like obviously Ty was there, like, you know, like not Eve's number, whatever. But now we kind of like know, like you sense yourself a bit. But we were like, yeah,
I was like to producers, Tiger's been in my DMs. And then it came out in the challenge. I was like, oh wow.
Oh my God, that is mad though. I bet you was like, oh for God's sake, why have I said that? Because I remember, was it Paige said about Lewis Capaldi being her ex?
Oh yeah.
That girl did not live it down.
I know.
I was like, this poor girl.
This time when they were like, has anyone been in your DMs? I was like, no. I was like, not so I don't get DMs.
They were like, any blue ticks? I was like, no, not one.
We don't get texts. But I was also going to ask, do you guys get like or receive much criticism, and how do you kind of handle that?
You know what it is? I feel like it's just like getting used to it, isn't it? Like, but I feel like we were definitely like thrown in the deep end with it, where you're just kind of like, oh my God, like, you actually just have no choice but just to kind of like, yeah, go for it. They always say like, don't look and stuff, but like, obviously it's only natural. Like,
and it's so hard not to.
Yeah, and even if you don't go looking for it, like, it will come to you. Do you know what I mean? It will come in the DMs or the comments and stuff. But I just feel like, just like knowing, like, learning to like realize that it's the people around you and who know you and that who love you, like their opinions is like the only opinions that matter. And just like focusing on that, and then just kind of learning to be like, okay, right, the outside, like doesn't really matter what they think. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
I love that. And also, what's it kind of like for your family being in the public eye?
First time we went on Love Island, I think our family struggles a little bit just because
we were so young as well.
Yeah,
like
we were young and like no one was used to it, and I think they felt protective. We were like, what's going on? And like when hate started coming in the first time, they were like, obviously, like, it breaks my mum's heart. Like, she does not want to see that. Like, you don't want to see that about your daughter. Whereas this time, I think it's a bit more like everyone's a bit more used to it. And like, I think my mum's a teacher, so I actually get so many DMs because she's I've posted her on my social media, and she was on the show last time. I get so many DMs from people like, oh, your mum taught me, and things like that. So I think she likes it. Like, she goes into school and they're all like, oh, can we like get pictures?
She's the popular mum. Oh my God, that's mad. So does she teach secondary or primary?
She teaches both. She did primary, now she's doing secondary for a bit, but she like kind of goes between.
Can you imagine being like in secondary school and be like, oh, daughter was on Love Island, I don't know what to do with myself. I'll be asking her all the questions. I'll be trying to get all the goss out. And I was going to ask you guys, have you got anything coming up in the future that you can kind of tell us about? I know there's definitely things exciting happening.
So we've got something really exciting coming out. I think it's in the next couple of weeks that we've been working on. So I can't wait for that because we really love the brand and we love the whole team. And that it also answers quite a lot of questions. We're getting so many questions at the moment about something, but we've not really said it. So I'm excited to
be able to actually say it. Oh, that's going to be so exciting. Well, we're going to play Pick an Ick. I'm going to give you 3 topics. Give me your pick and your ick. For the listeners at home, it's a very, very fun game. You find out a lot more about us as people and our opinions. So, first up, fashion, pick an ick.
I was gonna say, like, have you seen those like long cargo skirts, like the long ones?
Yeah, like the maxi skirts with the cargo. Yeah,
that for me, I couldn't do that. I mean, to be fair, some
like
people
quite short-lived though. I feel like suddenly I saw everyone on TikTok wearing them, and now they're not. I mean,
if you're like a really cool girl, you can do it. But on me, I would give myself the ick if I wore that.
I agree. I feel like certain styles on us is just not the vibe. What about you, Jess?
So mine is actually, like, sorry to anyone who wears them, is a kitten heel. Like, if I wore a kitten heel, I would actually look.
Am I being stupid? What's a kitten heel?
So like, you know, when the heel and it's like it's this small.
Like the mules. Is
it
like the
or
mules,
like, and
but
you know
even
when
smaller?
the heel is actually like that big. Like for me, it's like I would either wear a flat or a heel. Like there's no point doing a little like.
I mean, I wear little heels, but never that little. Like we have got a little bit of something on it. Yeah. I kind of agree with that. One that I'm not particularly liking, or I just can't get my head around. Like some people suit them. I don't know what they're called, but you know, like the sandals that have like 2.
Oh, there's a brand of them, like
Birkenstock. I can't lie, I can't get on them. And I saw someone wearing them with socks the other day, and I just kind of look and think, yeah, no, not a bit.
Everyone was wearing them in the villa, weren't they?
Everyone was wearing them. Like, apparently they're really comfy, but yeah, I don't think
I could possibly put them on and feel good about myself. So probably not for me. A pick. I love linen, like, you know, the linen bottoms at the moment that everyone's wearing, like the flowy.
Oh my God, I was literally going to say that. I feel like really like the classy like trousers.
Style.
Everyone's
we're trying to be a bit
into
more
it.
classy now. Like
there is a lot more like clean girl going about, and I'm really liking it.
Yeah.
So I'd say that. And like, have you seen like Australian girls? They've got it.
Oh my God, I love Australian clothes. I feel like the quality is so good.
I agree with that.
And I'm like, UK, what's going on here?
Come on, up the game. Give us some of their quality. Definitely. Have you got any other ones?
Like kind of the same. I kind of like the old money kind of style at the moment. I really want to do that this summer. Yeah.
I really want to do more linen. I love it. I was going to say as well, an ick about each other. I mean, I can't really get involved, but I want to know your icks and your picks.
Oh my God. I would say to Jess, so many, I'm joking. Probably just like, Jess is like, I know everyone says being late, but like Jess actually is like incapable of being on time, but to the point of like half an hour is her on time. Like she is so late, and everyone will back me up on this as well. Everyone that will know her as well. Like it's actually a miracle that we got here today. We're probably a little bit late,
pulled it off and been like, no guys,
she's so late.
Do you know what? I'm like that though. I think I'm quite a late person.
I can't even defend myself because it's true.
But what's your pick? Give me a pick.
Pick
About Jess.
About Jess.
Should be hard,
That's
Eve.
bad. Like I'm umming and ahhing. No, I just think you're just you're really kind.
The way you're looking at each other as well, it's really cute.
I just think Jess is like, she's like always got my back. Like it's just like can trust her with anything. Like it's literally just like she is me. Do you know what I mean? It's just like having like someone else.
A best friend, basically.
Yeah, like best friend. Like,
How are you going to say your pick is she is me?
What is your pick about your twin? She is me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That is cute. At least you can actually say it to your sister. I'd be like, we'll talk later. What's yours, Jess? What's your ick?
So my ick, this is quite a specific one, but with Eve, so she'll ask for like opinions and advice all the time, like even if it comes down to a picture, and I'll give my honest opinion. But then if it's not, Eve already has an idea of what she thinks in her head, and if mine doesn't align, then she's actually furious. So say she'll be like, oh, what picture's your favourite? And I'll be like, this one, and then she'll literally be fuming with me that she's not said the one she likes. I'm like, what was the point in asking me?
Because sometimes I think like if you ask for advice for the picture, I feel like Jess doesn't properly look. She'll just be like, oh, that one. And I'll be like, have you really
Or she'll
looked,
keep
though?
going until I then say the one she liked. I'm like, you didn't even need to ask. Like,
I've got both your traits in me. That's good. I'm late and I do
You're
that
like
with my
the other
mum.
sister.
I'm like all the time to my mum, like, which one? And then she picks the one I don't like. I'm like, I'm going to post my one anyway. It's
That's
like,
literally
it's just
me.
in my head. I want to know just in case. And what's your pick?
pick is, I feel like, Eve, you're very good at advice. Like, you always give advice,
thanks.
and you always like good, solid advice. So I always go to Eve for advice.
The next one was boys.
Okay.
Pick an Icks.
I'd say probably when they're like too into like Instagram, like selfies, like selfie videos where they're like singing, like I just feel like that just gives me the ick. Like, oh no,
Don't be too involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your pick? Something you like about a boy?
I like probably just like a nice loyal guy. Like I like a guy who is just like I love it when I see a guy and he's with a girlfriend and he posts that girlfriend. You can tell he wouldn't entertain someone else. Like that is good.
That is what we need more of in this generation, clearly.
Yeah.
What about you, Jess?
You know what? I like someone who's just like fun and like funny and actually like good company, because I feel like so many guys are just so like boring, and it's just like, oh, like I'd rather just be with my friends, you know. Like I actually like it when a guy is good company and it's like, oh, like you're actually fun to be around. I feel like
I agree.
That's a good pick.
Okay, right, we've got listener questions. So people at home have kind of asked us questions that we're going to answer. Guys, if you're listening to this or watching it and you want to get involved, you can DM us at Charlize's private story. Your questions, your dilemmas, your stories, whatever, and we will go through, pick them out, and every week we answer 4 or 3. So let's go through. Okay, first off, Athena says, can you talk a bit about the real side of social media? So basically some bits that aren't good.
I'd probably say I'd say this applies to like when you're like influencer in the industry, and if you're just like doing it for fun, it's probably just like all the constant like comparison, because I feel like everyone on social media, like you mainly just post like your high points, so like you're constantly comparing like your
High
normal,
with another people's high.
and like even just like your normal life with everyone else's highs, that they're only like they're not posting their lows, so it's just like constant comparison. You're looking at other people, like what are they doing, like everyone's looking so happy, and then sometimes like when you're not at your happiest or you're not at your high, then you can look around, you know, oh my god, everyone's doing this, and that's like within the industry, that's for just like everyone who just does it for fun. Like, yeah, I'd probably say that about social media.
Yeah. Also, I feel like sometimes it's quite hard to like find the balance of like just like work and then just chilling out, because it's like to be like successful, like, do I need to film every waking moment? Like, I should be posting more. And obviously I want to post a lot, but then it's like, I still don't want to post everything. And then it's like, even when I'm just relaxing on holiday and I'm like, oh, I should probably make a TikTok here. I should take a post. Like, oh, I could finish my fashion overdue here. Like, it's always like, there's pressure always. And it's hard
and
to
you
sometimes
can't really switch off.
Yeah. Like, even if I think, oh, I'm going to take my phone away tonight and just enjoy my night, then suddenly I'm like, oh, but over there would look good for a picture. Like, it's always like, it's just hard to sometimes.
And I feel like we're always thinking like, oh, it's a waste of an outfit if we go.
Yeah,
and then you don't want to wear it that much again because you're like, oh, I've already worn it, but I haven't actually got a picture in it yet. I'd also just say like people don't actually know you, but they think they know you. So sometimes it can be really hard because you feel like you want to be able to, I don't know, like be yourself, but then people are always coming at you for the littlest things that they don't really know. And I feel like sometimes people think they know situations that they don't, and it can really annoy me because I'm like, no, you don't know what happened, but I can't tell you what happened.
People feel so entitled that they know, and it's like, you weren't went there.
And people also forget that we are real people. Like, we're going to make mistakes. And I feel like quite a lot of people forget that and think that we're all just like these robotic characters that do things like normal, but we're always going to make mistakes. And I think that's something with social media that can be really hard, is to not make a mistake.
Especially with like cancel culture as well. Like, it's so like, there is like a lot of pressure to always just be on top form.
Do everything right, definitely. Jasmine says, do you have any tips for preparing for a first date?
I'd probably say just like build yourself up to the most like confident mindset you can be in. Like, I feel like I've done it before, like where I've gone into like a date. This is like the other thing. And like, I went into like a date and I was like just in a really bad mood and mindset, like myself. And it was actually nothing to do with them. And I was like, kept texting Jess, like, oh, I feel weird. I feel like, oh. And it was literally because I was just went into it with a bad like mood and mindset. I feel like next time I go on a date, I'm going to be just like really like happy. And just,
be your best self.
Yeah, bring the vibe.
No, definitely. I feel like if I was to give advice, just make yourself feel as comfortable and confident as you can. Don't wear an outfit just because you think he's going to like it. Wear something that you feel good in. Because I feel like when I feel my best with like outfits and things like that, it makes you also just feel better. So don't wear something just because of everyone else. Wear something that you feel great in. Okay, a lot of people have asked, what's your favourite everyday makeup products? Let's go top 3.
As in the product or the brand?
The product or the brand, whatever you want to give.
I love the Refi cream bronzer.
Oh, yeah.
I literally, if I'm like having a no makeup day, I literally just put that all over my face. Like, just give me a bit of colour. Like, I feel like it's just nice. It's like a little, like, it's like a face kind of tan, but then it just, it's quite dewy as well.
I'll give it a go. Mine, at the moment, I just love like the Tarte Shape Tape. I've gone back to the original. I never used to like it.
Is that the concealer?
I
used to use that.
I used that that was my first ever makeup product I bought when I was like year 6.
I love going back to something.
Oh my God, you're making me want to go back.
It is so good. Like, I've used some since and like can't find anything as good as that. Like, it just covers, it's good, it's creamy, it's nice. But yeah, I'm on my Tarte Shape Tape. And then also the Iconic London, just anything from them.
The bronze,
I love their bronzer.
Yeah.
I love their, have you tried their Illuminate? It's like the skin.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I put it all over like my like body.
And the
like,
sprays as well.
Yeah, they are amazing. So I'm an Iconic London girly right now. What about you?
I really like, the Born This Way Too Faced concealer.
I've never used that.
Oh, it's so good. I always see, how people are doing the tutorials where they just use concealer, like no foundation. I was like watching them, and then it's just, I just put it all over my face. Like, sometimes I don't even wear foundation. I'll just wear that.
It is quite full, isn't it? Like, coverage. It's good coverage, which is nice for a concealer. I'd also have to say, before I forget, it's like my go-to, just Charlotte Tilbury lip liners.
Oh
The Pillow Talk is like my go-to.
They've got nice shades, don't they?
And the last one is Morgan. She's asked, have you ever been used by a boy because of your social media?
I'd like to think not. I hope not. But then,
I feel like you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Like,
you don't.
I feel like there's definitely guys that I feel like, like if it wasn't for their social media, like they probably wouldn't like DM or like. Do you know
that's
what
why I just don't like DMs, because it's just like, what's your intention?
Yeah, what do you actually want out of this? Definitely. I feel like even my age, there's so many boys that are just so weird about it, and it's a bit like, do you
oh my God,
like me?
I bet at your age it's probably worse as well. Because like
people care more at my age than they do at your age. So it's even harder with like people in the past. Like, I never know if people's true intentions are to actually be my friend, or like, do they just want to get a bit of a follower? The amount of times I've had it with like one specific boy in the past where like, just little things, I would be like, do you want my followers? Or do you want, do you know what I mean?
It's because you were at school with your following and stuff. So I bet all the boys were like going crazy over you. Like,
I can't lie, no. You'd think it, they were also rude. They didn't like
I've seen you speak about this before. Like, you got bullied at school.
I hated school so much. And I just think like the people in school weren't supportive at all. Even my school weren't really.
You know what it is? It's jealousy though.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like there's this whole stigma though about social media in general, and like TikToker, like everyone like gets really rude about it. But I think it's so weird.
Even before, like when Musical.ly become TikTok, and it was at the beginning, I remember speaking to quite a few of like the prime TikTokers, and they'd be like, we used to get like so slagged off in the industry for it. I was like, what? Everyone's on TikTok now. So it is crazy how times have kind of changed. I reckon if I had to go back to school now, who knows? Like, it might be completely different if I'd started maybe like a year later. But I think the time that I started, people just didn't understand the hype. But that is all for the questions. Thank you for everyone that sent them in. And yeah, make sure to DM us at Ami Charlize's private story. And the last question I've got for you guys is, you can go individually or together. Have you got like a funny story, maybe together or individually, that's like a private story? Could have been in the villa that you can tell us about. Something people might not know.
I mean, we've got villa ones or we've got outside ones.
Yeah.
I mean, we were literally at this close to like not doing it in the villa. Like, we were in Holden for so long. It was like we were in Holden for 2 weeks, like out in South Africa. Because like before you go in the show, like you have to do this like lockdown quarantine
thing. Yeah.
So like you literally have no contact with the outside world. You have no phone. Like, it's literally the weirdest thing. It's like being in prison. You're allowed out for like, is it like 2 activities a day? So like, and they're for like an hour each. So we did that for 2 weeks, and like by the end of the 2 weeks, and then we were told we were going in one day and then we weren't, because I think the movie night, we were literally this close to just being like no. So they let us speak to our manager, and we were like, we don't want to do it anymore, we're just so over it, like we don't want to do it. And then they were like, and then what did they do? They're like, okay, we're going to put you in like this night. So we're like, okay, but we were literally at this close to not even doing it.
Yeah, and oh my God, then they gave us the date we were going to go in, and then they changed it, and I think it was because of the movie night drama. And then they gave us another date, so we meant to go in on the Sunday, and on the Saturday, like we were just kind of like doing the most in Cape Town because we were bored. So we were going up Table Mountain. We were literally like halfway up the mountain, and then we get a call from the producer, and he's like, come back from Table Mountain, you're going into the villa tonight. And we were like, what? So you know when you always expect like your entrance to be like amazing, I literally did my makeup in the car,
van,
like on the way there. Yeah, like our entrance was stressful.
I thought you got your makeup done and everything.
Oh no, like it was so rushed. So we literally got back from Table Mountain. We probably had like about an hour. Like I literally had to get in the shower. Like they told me what to wear, but like, I had to pack up all my stuff from the villa. It was so rushed, and like I literally caught sight of myself in the mirror, and I was like, I cannot believe I'm walking into the villa like this. Like,
I was like, all this villa prep for me to in 20 minutes.
It was like
my makeup in a van.
Yeah, it was literally like me doing my lip liner and like this bumpy car, like
driving to that villa. I was going to ask, did you quarantine together?
Yeah.
I was going to say, surely you're allowed. Like, surely they let
everyone else is alone, but I feel like because we know each other are going in, so yeah, thank God we got to do it together.
Yeah, I was always going to ask, like, imagine if they split the twins
I know.
up. What would you do? You'd be so bored. You're basically a two. But
I couldn't do it alone, that quarantine.
Yeah,
it was so hard.
Yeah, I can't imagine 2 weeks by myself. I'd literally be saying, I'd be like, oh, what do I do now?
Yeah.
The sunbathing would be great, but also you probably would be a bit tired.
There's only so much.
Yeah, definitely. But thank you guys so much for coming on. It's literally been so amazing. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Ami Charlize's Private Story. Make sure to subscribe to us now on YouTube, as well as follow us on Spotify or your podcast app of choice. You can also like, comment and leave a review now. And please get in touch now with your questions, stories and dilemmas over on Instagram at Ami Charlize's Private Story. You can also follow me on TikTok and now also on Snapchat. Thanks so much. Bye.